Hey guys, welcome to Black Angus Reviews, a place to be for new comic readers. Today we're going to be reviewing M.O.M, Mother of Madness by Emilia Clarke and actually Marguerite Bennett. I haven't looked into what Marguerite has done outside of this. I probably should have beforehand, but I did read this cover to cover. So yeah, this is the next crazy feminist period-based not period like time period, but like vaginal bleeding period. Yeah. It doesn't get that in depth like I think Chelsea Kane did, Cursed or Man Eaters or something like that, which is another like kind of werecat werewolf during her period. I haven't read it yet, but I remember reading about it. And we did read about this on All American Beef. It does seem kind of wacky, and it is. But it's kind of cool. There's not, how would I say this? It's not the worst thing. There's moments of interest and intrigue of utilizing this, but it's so wacky, and this really summarizes what women really think of themselves in their inflated ego of today, thanks to feminism. To understand why you get into this, they actually give you like a pie chart of Maya's powers. That's the main character. So when angry, she becomes super strong and super fast. When anxious, she becomes supersonic. She gains supersonic hearing. When frightened, she becomes invisible. When happy, she can super stretch. When she's at the peak of all her powers and all her emotions are go, her eyes blaze gold. This is known as the pinnacle. And when laughing, her sound can shatter objects. When sad, she can heal almost instantly, which I thought that was a weird placement. Trying to utilize emotions. You would think sadness and anger or something might kind of blend. You'd think happy or laughing might entail healing. Because sadness, like, you have chemical imbalance. You're depressed in all of these. You're like deficient in these chemicals, or maybe you have an influx of bad ones that put you in this state. So healing would not be something I would ever, just knowing a little bit of science, tie in with that. And what's funny too is they got all this like intersectional feminist links and phone numbers for diversity. You got hate crimes, domestic abuse, SHARP, if you've been in the military, you know what that is, trafficking, LGBT alphabet awareness, and anti-racisms, mental health. I think that should probably be a prime for anyone that thinks this is a solid book, including Emilia. And before that, she actually has this letter to you, the reader, or really me for you. And it kind of shows how out of touch she is writing this. Before she talked about loving comics, but it seems that was after becoming Daenerys and Sarah Connor and Kira that going to cons kind of opened her eyes to the comic book. But she has this view of comics about how like she'd follow her brother, but she always felt scared of going because it wasn't like inviting to girls, and that's really the root of this. People mistake their fifis with reality. It's like, yeah, they're not, bells and whistles. Like, this is for girls, but, you've never been barred from going to a comic store. I mean, Vampirella was made in the 60s. But if you want to get the mental state of this book, just turn to the first page. And it's not, I was surprised. I think it's like Lady Killers or something by Joel Jones. When I first read that, I really like. And the art popped. I'm like, wow, I thought this would be dog shit art given the cover, but surprisingly pretty good looking stuff, this first issue. Art by Leila Leyes. Solid stuff. I like most of this art throughout here. But let's go through. So she's like, Maya's like, hello there. My name is Maya Kuiper. I am a 29-year-old single mom, a high school dropout, chemical engineer, part-time sex worker, Thai food junkie, and biological freak of nature. Parentheses, Scorpio and blood moon rising, no drama, no water signs. She says, I like Ruth Bader Ginsburg's speeches and Martha Stewart living. I enjoy more children's television shows than it's probably healthy. I lie to myself every January about using the elliptical I bought 4 years ago for anything more than an expensive clothes hanger. I get anxiety from feeling like I don't listen to enough podcasts about controlling anxiety. And I made a pass this run on Undertale my first time through. Couldn't escaping the bullet hell. Thank you very much. I am currently trapped schmoozing at an Upper West Side corporate after party as part of my boss's entourage for a female empowerment in the workplace initiative. The last CFO had to step down after getting caught soliciting what turned out to be several thousand Mexican scorpions in a trench coat as part of a viral prank sensation. So here we are, and this. All right, so do note this takes place in 2049. So what? 28 years in the future. And it looks like there's some, like, I don't know, they, them, lesbian leading this thing, and she says, I'm so excited for us to be hosting the first Women in the Workplace event. It's so great to give all of you hardworking gals the respect you deserve. Thanks for putting up with our tomfoolery. No lawsuits allowed. Joking. Can I get a hashtag me too? What time is it? Up. And you wonder why we think women aren't funny. Oh, I mean, it's funny in a cringe way. Like, he really wrote this. And then there's crap like this couple was talking to this guy. And it's like, look, I don't want to ruin the night. And quit spouting this binary gender essentialist transphobic bell draw, Jack. We're 3 pages in. Oh, this is great. This is great. This is actually a video I would watch of, what's his name? Your boy, Zach. Well, I don't know. He's kind of a cut now, so he'd probably be nice, overly nice about it. But essentially, everyone starts, like, talking. I don't know if, like, she's hearing the whispers or if this is, like, her picking up. Like, if this is another power. But you're hearing all these, like, different comments of, like, oh, gross. Like, oh, you're a mother, blah, blah, blah. It's mostly women talking shit about her. Which is funny. But she's drinking, downs her drink, gets pissed, and it's like, I didn't know what the fuck this was, but this is the armpit hair. This is the first time viewing the, like, web-slinging armpits. And then there's, like, this watch, but it's emoticons, percentages, so I was like, what? But, you know, I gave you that behind the scenes early to understand her powers, so, boom. Now you kind of get it. So you're seeing this Blaze state, which I didn't pick up when I first read this. And so then we kind of, like, go back and forth through time at different points. She's adopted, and so I guess her mom's got cancer or some shit, like Monster Calls. So dad is trying to do concoctions to heal her, but she says, like, my dad's a dipshit scientist. Who would have thought a feminist would write the man as dumb fuck? But he's a good guy because it's a dad, but, you know. But yeah, both parents end up dying within a year, so then she's, like, alone. So it's not really clear. She's kind of, I guess, in the foster care system, but she starts just taking drugs randomly. And I guess they help her trip or something, or escape while she's cleaning, hiding out. And that's probably the root of her transformation. Kind of mimicking with medicine X-Men in its pubescent onset. And of course, she's a single mom. And she's got, like, some Uber driver friend named Benny that always helps with Billy. So she gets the benefit of a man without having to put out or whatever. And this guy's kind of a cuck. He's wants to date her, and the boy's like, you're going to ask my mom out eventually? And, yeah, so we kind of hop back and forth. And this is key because this is, like, I guess the first time, like, things really just, like, came out in the open. But she said these things. I thought it was kind of interesting. Like, she goes on a date and she feels shy, or it's somewhere later in here, but she feels shy, and so, like, she blushes, but she turns invisible instead of presenting. She grows fucking armpit hair, ridiculous. Sorry for the shine. Ridiculously. You know, she can laugh and shatter the TV. So, like, life's just extra uncomfortable on top of normal girl puberty stuff, which is like, okay, I can empathize with that. This is ridiculous. But then these guys are fucking with her, so she, like, because of her, a train derails. And you assume this is going to be dad to Billy because he's like, I don't think you're that much of a freak, after seeing like, oh, that was cool what you did. And so she's like riding on the bike with them. Total badass. Of course, he's not going to stick around. And then we cut to like work life, present day in New York. She works at some company because of like family, friends, or what have you. If she got her college education by agreeing to do this shit job for a like meat company called Yummy Time, but they work to make everything as little meat as possible. Not for vegan things, just to be cheap and gross. So you got like this kind of anti-meat propaganda, which is a feminist issue. And of course, her friend at work in this boy man's world is a POC of color, or a woman of color in a hover round. So yippee, and then it's like all these mean men want to like hit on me or fuck me, or it's just like, I don't really think so. She's kind of standoffish, so she ends up getting called to a meeting with the boss, and he's totally sexist and all these things that, like, it's 2049. These are already things that you're like scared to get fake allegations in 2021. So like, it's totally out of touch when she wrote this. See. And then you see, like, what a puzzle her life is, fitting these pieces together and running around. And then something happens, there are kids at stake at wherever he was dropped off. So, cuck Uber driver, not boyfriend, helps take her to the place. So then you start seeing her powers in motion, taking on this guy. We don't really understand, but at some point, she has this little feminist crap about, like, female characters are being expendable and how she remembers a little bit about her more than normal media. These expendable girls where it's like, take that, patriarchy film industry. It turns out the guy she fights has got like a camera or some shit, and so we're like aware the plot's going to get bigger, that someone's watching. Of course, it's a woman. That's a bad woman. I expect this woman to actually be a middleman to a big bad man who is white and straight. But we'll see. Essentially she's like, I don't like these things, these powers, but I'll use them for good. So you got like kind of the standard superhero kind of thing of like accepting your powers going forward. And that is Mom. This is, I guess, going to be the fucking suit of her, which will kind of match the hideous cover. Looks like some 80s Euro record cover. I don't know. Fucking weird. This is art. But yeah, like, I like the art. I thought the art was actually pretty good throughout this book. The color scheme, it's very vibrant and it's always changing. It's got like a kind of muted overall quality to it. It's $6 for a kind of full bound book. I don't know if it's like 40 pages or more, but you get a good amount of story in there. It's chaotic for sure. You got some SJW crap in the back because women, and this feminist letter from Emilia. It just makes her very unlikable, honestly, and like just seem like a chowderhead. When it's like, I've adored her as Daenerys for almost a decade now. I know it will separate art from artists, but this is like, she's making this art with this kind of agenda, and she's stating it in that letter. So, to each his own. Like, it's funny seeing the sign Mom, you got like two things, so that's boobies. It's just, I don't know. And there's always this mom fist of power, which they kind of put in conjunction with anti-racism. Definitely don't suggest you buying this if you are not actually going to appreciate it. If it's just like a joke thing, kind of like I did, spur of the moment, then save your money. It was worth it for me to laugh at, and hopefully you got a laugh just flipping through, getting the highlights. But yeah, I'll continue reading this. It's entertaining for me in a masochistic kind of way, I guess. You've entertained me, Daenerys, but not in the way you intended. Yeah, that's my synopsis, my take on Mom, Mother Madness #1. Have you read it? Will you? What do you think? What would you like me to review next? Until next time, thank you for viewing. Consider supporting, liking, subscribing, all the things everyone says to do. Appreciate it. Helps me mention my own comic. And I'll talk to you later. See you Thursday for my weekly stream.